Hey everyone, it's Sami from Sami Sweet Life, and I have some really neat goodies to share with you guys today. I have a full list of things to talk about with these little notebooks, and I am super excited to share them with you. These are the new A5 Rainbow notebook sets. They're 8 notebooks in the set, and they are kind of like mini notebooks. You can see they're a little bit thinner. They're 40 pages total. That's 20 front and back pages. So they're a little bit smaller than the typical Makselife notebooks. I've got one of the dot grid notebooks here. So these are the standalone dot grid notebooks that you get. They're a little bit less thick than these, and they are sewn versus bound. You can see the sewing on these, and then the binding is different. So they are a little bit thinner of books, and they do also have vegan leather covers that are a little bit flimsier than the normal A5. So these ones feel more like a leather, whereas these ones feel really thick and, you know, cardboardy, chipboardy type of thickness. So these ones do come in sets of 8, get the whole rainbow set. And what's cool about these is they are launching for Pride Month, which is June, and for every set that's bought, $10 goes to the Trevor Project, which is really awesome. They're supporting a really good cause, and I just love the looks of these. These are done in the area of live colors, which is super cute. I love the sewn look of these, and there are 2 different varieties. So you get the lined notebook, lines like that, and it looks really cute, like actual school ruled notebook. It's got the little side column there, and then it also comes in dot grid. So whatever you prefer, you can choose what option you have. So let's talk paper and logistics really quick. I'm going to set these aside for a second here, and we'll just pick one. The actual notebook itself is A5, which measures 5.8 this way by 8.3 down. So it does fit in the Makselife. We're going to just test it out real quick and stick it in here. You can just find where the middle is and then stick it in one of the loops. And these are thinner notebooks, so it would probably fit really nicely with 3 additional notebooks in here. And I do actually happen to have the companion notebooks handy, so I'm going to just stuff this full of 3 companion notebooks, which are like the bigger size notebooks. So your daily intentions notebook and your gratitude notebook would be this size, so you can stick it with 3 of the normal everyday Makselife notebooks. And somebody's mowing the grass, so I hope you guys don't hear that too much. We're gonna stuff it full there with those, and then the mini notebook. Oh, and yeah, it fits perfectly with that one, since that one's a little bit thinner than the regular size ones. So you could totally do 3 of the regular size with 1 skinny one and have plenty of space with that. So that works really, really nicely. So the sizing is great. It fits perfectly in the A5 system. I already told you guys it's 40 sheets, which is 20 sheets front and back per notebook, and the line is 0.25 inch spacing. And I did want to show you guys and see if it actually works with the ruler. These do look like the lines on all the other Makselife things. So let's see. Yeah, it totally lines up. So you can use the stencil bookmark and use any of these checklist boxes. If you need to make checklists, it will line up really nicely with that. And then the binding is sewn, like I said. It looks like it's gray stitching no matter which notebook you get. Here, I'll flip this one. So they do look gray, and depending on which notebook, it blends in better or worse. And I do notice that a couple of my top things have stuck out. I had one stick out here. I just trimmed it. It didn't seem like it was gonna like pull loose when I pull on it. It's pretty tight sewn together, but I just trim off that little extra piece. Hopefully you guys can see that little tiny extra thing. I just trimmed that off of a different notebook, and it's not like unwinding or anything. It's just the way it's stitched, and I think they look really nice. Like you can see there's a leatherette looking texture. You can also feel it, but I hope you guys can see it on the camera. It looks really nice. I love the flimsiness of them, since they are small, thin notebooks. I just like the, you know, this bendable and lovely. As far as the paper, it is bright white 120 GSM recycled paper. We will do a pen test. I've got some twin tones here, and these are like thick, nice and juicy ones. I also have the Moxie highlighters, and generally speaking, the Moxie paper holds up really well. So I was just gonna see if it was the exact same paper. I feel like it is, like as far as I'm feeling it, it feels the same. It feels like they're nice quality paper. It's nice thick paper. So we'll do a quick pin test for that. And I just wanted to compare the lines in here as well. So these are all, I think, the same line spacing as this one. Yeah, so all the line spacing throughout all of the Makselife products are the same thickness. So it works with the washi tape, and it also works with the checklist boxes on the stencil bookmark. So very, very nice. Let's go ahead and do a quick pen test here. So I really, really like the colors of these. They match all the Makselife colors really well, and they did tone down the Makselife colors to match with the Moxie markers, but I feel like these are still nice and bright and vibrant. Like seeing them in person, I was a little bit worried that they would be kind of muted colors, but they are beautiful. I think they're just like right up my alley as far as color goes. So yeah, we'll just grab a dot grid and start doing some highlighting. It doesn't really matter where. We'll just go to the middle here. They are not lay flat because of how the sewn design works, so you will have to train it to lay a little bit flat. And that's one of those things that all the planner people like test out, and they're like, oh yeah, it lays flat right when you open it. And I was like, does it really have to lay flat? Because I'm not like writing way up here in the air. Like I'm always going to be holding the paper writing. So it's okay if it's like coming up a tiny bit. And I don't feel like this is one that you're going to set out on your desk that you want it to lay flat, like some of the bigger like ledger style planners. But that's just something to note. You will have to train it to lay down because of the way the book is made. But let's go ahead and like start with some juicy highlighters, some darker colored highlighters. We'll see. Let's go ahead and like do 2 lines. I don't typically do 2 lines, but if I mess up a line, sometimes I will have to go back over it. And these are super juicy. If you get the Moxie markers and they feel really juicy to you, I would definitely recommend storing them upright. And I feel like that keeps the ink from pooling up at the top. I was having a lot of trouble with them being super duper juicy at first. You can see even now, like there's still like a juicy spot at the end there for these. Let's see, let's do another darker color. The gray is pretty dark. You can see that little pooled edge. They are very just inked up, so they'll last a while, but in the beginning, you can see that juicy spot does leak through a little bit. So I definitely have some ghosting, especially with the darker color going over twice, but I have the tiniest bit of bleeding through. It didn't bleed through all the way of the paper, but it's enough. It's enough that I would count that as a bleed through. So let's test some of these darker twin tones. And this is a marker, so it's not going to sit on top of the paper. Oh, nothing. I don't see even any ghosting with that, which I'm surprised because that's a pretty dark color. Let's try another one. No, nothing. Okay, so I would say, you know, your typical type of markers. Let's do some dot pens. And again, like these are nice juicy dot pens. So there's 1, 2, I don't know why you'd go over it so many times, but we're really just trying to test the paper. I'm getting like the tiniest bit of bleed through with the 3 dots, but 1 dot, nothing, 2 dots, nothing, 3 dots, I'm seeing a little bit of bleeding into the paper, but not actually all the way through. So I would say that would be a successful pen test. And yeah, like my typical, I use the Sharpie S gel pen a lot. That's my typical pen. Yeah, you're not going to get anything for a regular pen. So there you go. You can use up to pretty dark highlighters. Like I didn't get a whole lot of anything bleeding through until I went 2 and 3 over. Just the tiniest bit at the little end there on that one pass of the dark gray. But otherwise, I think pretty successful pen test there. I really do just like the Moxie paper. It's somewhere in between the smoothness of a plum paper planner, which is like a slick feeling, and then the toothiness of the Erin Condren. It's like right in between where it's got like the tiniest bit of toothiness, but it's also mostly you're just feeling smooth. There you go. There's the pen test really quick, and I'm super happy with it. I ended up with both sets. I've been using A5 size things more and more. I flipped these all the way over. I was going to show you guys the back side here. There's what it looks like. It's just the Makselife. And then the front, it'll tell you what it is. Lined notebook or dot grid notebook, and that is all silver. But I've been using more and more A5 size notebooks for like doing a brain dump, or some people call it daily download, or you can use it as an actual bullet journal. You can use it as a notebook to just do for project planning or contain one type of subject in each of these little notebooks and have a whole collection of them. I just love all things rainbow and all things notebook. So I have both stacks here, but I would love to know how you guys use your smaller size A5 notebooks. If you use it for actual planning, I'll show you one thing I did. This is one from a different company, Hubman and Chub Girl. This was just a freebie they had, but it's a dot grid, and I just used it as like a daily planner. You can see, I just set it up with stickers. I made 2 little columns. So one column would be for like the stickery stuff, and then one column would be for larger things. But I really loved using it like that. It's just like kind of like a bullet journal, but structured with stickers. But yeah, I really, really like that. I'll probably do something like that with these as well. And I could totally see myself with these lined ones using it as just like a running to-do list, because this would be a perfect little area for checking off. So I could write my to-do listing things down the list and check them off over here, either with a dot pin or with just checking it off, or making my own little check boxes with this. But I like the little division spot on there. And I definitely see myself using these quite a bit. But that's just another idea. I would love to know what you guys use these notebooks for and what you prefer. Do you prefer lined or do you prefer dot grid? I happen to really like both for different reasons. Both serve a different purpose for me, and I find that dot grid is way more versatile as far as what you can do with it, whereas lines, you kind of are committed to those lines. Pros and cons of each one, but I'd love to know what you guys think. So be sure to give me a thumbs up, subscribe, follow me along. I do have a coupon for Makselife if you want to check it out, and I also have an affiliate link down below. So if you like any of my videos or find them helpful, I would love it if you purchase through my link, because it does support this channel. And that's all I've got for you guys today. So happy planning, happy shopping if you're going to do some shopping, happy Pride Month, and I will catch you next time. Bye.